Nathan's combat class with Jason had turned dangerous. Nathan never backed out of a fight, but today was personal.
One day, I'll make your father my slave and piss on him.
And that was when Nathan lost his cool. Little did Nathan know, it was a fatal mistake.
Headmaster, stop the duel! Nathan, yield, please! I yield.
Not enough for me.
Sir Ian's drunken mind couldn't figure out why Nathan might desire such information, so he plainly stated what he knew. Oh, Duke Godricson? Now that's a warrior. He's likely a level 7 master, or perhaps even level 8. But he is the Duke, after all, so he must also have some powerful magic behind him as well. Even my father could barely hold out against him on the training field. He's a master level 3. Sir Ian's voice began to slur worse than before, so Nathan frowned and stood up once more to fetch the water pitcher. I'll fill up your water cup once more, Sir Ian. In the meantime, as this situation develops, I suggest you keep your distance from my sister. Otherwise, it might put both of you in danger. Will you understand me, Sir Ian? Sir? As Nathan turned around to face his friend, Sir Ian lay back in the cushions with his eyes closed, snoring. The young warrior had passed out cold from the alcohol in his system. Nathan sighed and set down the water cup. He grabbed a blanket from a storage closet and draped it over his sleeping companion. As Nathan tiptoed out of the room, he quietly shut the door behind him. The moon was high in the night sky when he finally made it back into his room. As he turned on the lantern, he found Ulrich was there waiting for him. Well, lad, is everything all right with Sir Ian? Nathan shrugged. Yes, he fell asleep from the mead. Set him up in your room for the time being, until he's able to sleep it off. Ulrich nodded his head and let out a long sigh. Ah, poor young Sir Ian. The way he looks at Amelia and the way she looks back at him, only they had the means to be together. Father, you know of his predicament? Of course I do. Most nobles in the fiefdom are aware of the situation. But what can any of us do? Even if we wished to intervene, none of us could dare stand up to the Duke. His word is law, and he has all the strength in the world to back it up. Nathan gave his father a short smile. You're right, Father. Let us focus instead on the task at hand. Our upcoming duel must take priority. In truth, Nathan did not banish this issue from his mind. He loved his sister too much to see her suffer. After years of awful courtships she rejected, she had finally found the man of her dreams, only to have him taken away by the whim of a single family. Nathan would not let this stand. However, he knew his father's anxieties lay elsewhere. Ulrich wiped exhaustion from his face as Nathan sat across from him. Speaking of the duel, lad, I've been thinking, perhaps it's best if we did resign from the match. Nathan's face grew puzzled. But, Father, why would we do that? We've come so close to freeing ourselves of our enemies. Nathan, you inspire me each and every day, but words will only take us so far. I've heard reports that the Duke's own men have started sparring with House Raven's warriors in order to get them ready for the fight. Such a powerful backer, and so many swordsmen at their disposal. I just don't see a path to victory for us. The path might not be obvious, Father, but I swear to you, I'll carve us one. Perhaps one day, lad, but not today. We don't have the strength to beat them. I don't have the strength. Listen to me, please. I know you think giving up now and waiting till I am older is the sounder strategy, but I promise you, I'm ready to take all of them on now. Even with the Duke's men training our enemies? Even so, the Duke himself will not be our enemy. Not yet, at least. Why don't we show him the error of his ways? After this duel, he'll think twice about supporting a house as sinister as the Ravens. Ulrich grinned. Incredible. What is it, Father? For a moment just then, you had the look of my great-grandfather, the last of the great hayfield warriors. When he spoke of his great deeds, fire would burn within his eyes. I see that fire within you now. Then listen to me when I say this, Father. I will not back down from this. Ulrich sighed. Clearly, he was deeply troubled, but he began to accept that his son would not listen to reason. Very well then, Nathan. I'll not fight you on this any longer. What would you have us do to prepare? Nathan smiled as he rested a comforting hand on Ulrich's shoulder. Rest easy, Father. There is no need to plan anything. I will fight all of the duels myself. You can't be serious, lad. Even with your skills, it would take a miracle. Despite Ulrich's absolute faith in his son, he couldn't believe that Nathan could truly handle things the way he claimed. Even if Nathan was more powerful than his father, he was still a child and had yet to accomplish any legendary feats of strength. Just trust me, Father. If I go up first and win a couple of duels, it'll absolutely terrify them. They'll think that if I'm tough, you must be even tougher, and the thought of you facing them will make them cower. After that, I'm sure that they'll concede. Ulrich sighed as he contemplated Nathan's words. It was true that most people believed that the lords of the noble houses were the strongest members of their families, so many would suspect Ulrich of being even more powerful if Nathan could win the first few duels. Still, the thought of risking his son's life made him uneasy. I don't know. It seems like a huge gamble. Think of what they'll say, Father. They'll say that if Nathan Hayfield is already that powerful, how strong must the father be? Then we'll have dozens of recruits flocking to our banner. Talented warriors will want to learn from us and join our chaos. After that, a noble house like the Ravens or the Clays won't be a threat to us at all. Ulrich chuckled. Very well, then. Once again, you have convinced me. I'm quite lucky to have a son so cunning at your young age. I'll leave it to you, but if I smell trouble, I'm subbing you out for myself. Thank you, Father. I promise you, I'll make you proud. You've already done that, Nathan. Just promise me you'll survive the fight. I promise, Father. You have nothing to worry about. Nathan and Ulrich hugged each other and sighed. Ulrich stood up and went towards the door. Good night, my son. Oh, and before I forget, when Sir Ian was still sober, he invited our house to attend his sister's birthday celebration tomorrow night. If you're willing to delay your training, you and your sister ought to attend. It's bound to be crawling with young warriors from her Spiritual Warrior Academy, the Academy of the Ancient Edge. Of course, Father. I'm sure Amelia and I would love to go. It'll be good to see Sir Ian back to his usual self again, and to meet his younger sister. Ha! Let's just hope he can control himself tomorrow. Oh, and don't forget to bring a gift. Doesn't have to be crazy expensive, but it ought to be respectful of their status. After all, they are a High Lord household. Yes, Father. I'll see if Amelia wishes to go with me in the morning. Nathan sighed as Ulrich finally shut the door behind him. Nathan stared up at the ceiling, and, finally, a deep sleep began to take hold of him. The next morning, Amelia was in a good mood and happily agreed to go to the central markets with Nathan in search of a gift. Before they left, she had scrambled to pick out her outfit for the evening and fix up her hair. Nathan smirked as he watched her fret over her choices. It was obvious to him that she too understood why Sir Ian had been so emotional the night before. Now that they were going to meet again, she clearly wanted to impress him with her looks. After a few hours of this, Nathan threatened to leave her behind, and so, reluctantly, she agreed to put her personal preparations on hold. The gift was the most important thing, after all. Nothing would make Amelia happier than if she could make a good impression on Sir Ian's sister. After all, she still had hopes of a long and fruitful future with him. As the sun rose high in the sky, Nathan soon grew bored of the countless stalls of overpriced knickknacks and poorly made fabrics. Amelia, however, was in her element. She was proud of the fact that nobody in Godricson could find a higher quality bargain. Nathan, look. How about this, huh? Or what about this cloak? No. Amelia scurried back and forth between shops, desperately trying to pick out the perfect gift, as if her relationship with Sir Ian was itself on the line. Nathan sighed. Amelia, please calm down. You're overthinking it. These are some of the wealthiest people in the entire fiefdom. What could we buy them that House Lightstone doesn't already possess? Let's just get them something that they won't be offended by and be on their way. Huh. That's what all the other guests will do. And then Sir Ian's sister won't have anything she really wants. It's her 18th birthday, after all. We can't afford to be rude and run the risk of displeasing her. Displease her? Or displease Sir Ian? Hold your tongue, you little rascal. I don't know what you're insinuating, but I don't like it. Now, come on. These antiques are merely cheap replicas of the real thing. Perhaps the medicinal store here will surprise us. Nathan sighed as his sister headed into the large medicinal shop. Must we really bother with this? You know as well as I do that the medicinal stores here are worse than the ones at home. Really, Nathan, I'm disappointed by your pessimism. There's always a chance of finding something interesting in a medicinal store. Very well then, but I won't dilly-dally all day. I've got a lot of training to do. Nathan reluctantly followed his sister into the medicine shop as she browsed down a row of dried herbs and goods. Despite Nathan's tone, he too searched the store in case anything special appeared. He knew that his sister was mostly anxious about appearing presentable in front of her crush's noble family. If he could do something to help her out, he would, even if it meant spending countless hours shopping. Finally, Nathan and Amelia reached the very back of the store. Nathan frowned at Amelia's crestfallen expression. Amelia did everything she could to keep from sighing loudly. I really thought we'd find something special here. Sorry, sis. I'm sure we'll find something in another store. As Nathan and Amelia headed towards the exit, they turned a corner and spotted something in a display case on the opposite side of the shop. Immediately, both of their eyes lit up. Nathan smiled as he raced towards it. Sis, is that actually a high mountain snow rose? That's what it looks like. What incredible luck! The high mountain snow rose was an incredibly rare item in the fiefdom of Godricson. It could only grow on the very highest mountain peaks in the region. Many had died or given up during attempts to find one. Once, when Nathan was back home, he had been hiking up Mount Dunn and seen one growing on a nearby boulder. He had thought to pick it at first, but then thought better of it. Snow roses took several years to grow to their full height, and several more before they fully bloomed. A completely bloomed snow rose was hardly ever seen, and even Duke Godricson himself was known to covet them. It was said that the Duke even organized special parties that he would send off to collect more of them. These were often low-born nobles of honorable commoners that wished to gain his favor. It was said that the Duke would tell them to only return with a high mountain snowflower in hand, and few of those he sent out ever came back to him. The three high lord houses combined might only have access to a handful of them, and most of those were bestowed to them by the Duke himself as a sign of his favor. And yet, despite its rarity, the high mountain snow lotus wasn't seen as a particularly useful flower. Its specific medicinal properties were unknown, and its use throughout the land was purely an aesthetic one. Much of its value came from how delicate and rare it was, and the fact that the Duke himself saw value in it. This was why Nathan and Amelia raced across the store to the front counter where the flower housed in a display case. Nathan hurriedly knocked on the counter as a shopkeeper approached him. "Shopkeeper, I'll take this high mountain snow rose here. Feel free to name your price." Suddenly, an unknown voice blared out behind him. "Hold it! Not so fast!" "Hmm?" Nathan frowned and turned his head to look behind him, only to see that a crowd of 5 young warriors stood by the shop's entrance. Nathan studied the faces of the 3 young men and 2 young women and realized that he only recognized one of them, Lady Sarah Hale, the young daughter of the High Lord Hale, the 3rd strongest noble house in the land. Memories of his old life flooded back to him, and as Nathan blinked, he realized that Sarah had been a schoolmate of his at the Academy of the Mystic Blades. He remembered how she had once brought him bandages after he had been beaten down by Jason Clay. Perhaps in his old life, he had even had a crush on her. But now, Nathan had larger things to worry about. One of the shorter youths, dressed in a deep blue cloak, came up to Nathan and pointed to the tallest kid amongst them. "Friend, I'm sorry, but this noble young master had already set his sights on the high mountain snowflower when you arrived." The short youth smiled politely at Nathan and was horribly surprised when Nathan turned his back on him. Nathan proceeded to pull a bag of coins from his side and set them on the counter across from the shopkeeper. "First come, first serve. Here, take this and give me the flower." Are you sure, sir? This item is extremely valuable. It would take nearly all the money I have on me. Yes, my family is not rich, perhaps, when compared to the high houses, but I have enough to cover the cost of this. Normally, the shopkeeper would not hesitate. If it were between Nathan and a commoner, he would have already given it to the young master. But given the fact that a large group of noble youths also desired it, the shopkeeper didn't know what to do. He wasn't sure which buyer was more influential. He couldn't risk upsetting these new customers who were clearly dressed in finer garments than the hayfield boy, especially if he wanted them to return to his store. I'm sorry, sir, but those nobles behind you seem to also desire the item. Don't you wish to discuss the matter further and work this out between yourselves?" Before the short youth dressed in blue could speak, Nathan spoke to the shopkeeper coldly. "I don't plan on discussing it with them. I was here first." Amelia sighed as she tried her best to cool her brother down. "Nathan, come on, it's okay. Maybe we'll just find something else." Nathan gritted his teeth. All he wanted was to buy a nice gift for his sister to present. All of the stresses of the past few weeks boiled up in his face as Nathan shook his head. "No. You saw it first. First come, first serve. Or does this store play favorites? If so, I better inform the people outside about your new policies. I'm curious to hear what they'd have to say." The shopkeeper's head hung low. He knew that if things escalated, his business would be threatened. He dared not disrespect the son of a noble. "I'm sorry, sir. I was merely trying to be fair to those other nobles there." Amelia tried to pull Nathan away from the situation, but he wouldn't budge. "Come on, Nathan. Let's just leave it. It isn't worth causing a scene." "No way, Amelia. I won't stand by and let them steal this away from us." At that, the short youth in blue grew red-faced from indignation. His sword-like eyebrows raised up in anger. "Steal? How dare you, sir? I ought to teach you some respect." Nathan finally turned to face the youth. He was tired of the constant bullying by House Raven and House Clay. Now, whoever this new fellow was, he too was going to learn to steer clear of House Hayfield. "Go ahead and try me. Or are those just hollow words you're barking at me? You wish to feel my bite? So be it." The short youth's face grew beet red as he grasped the hilt of his sword. Nathan reached for his broadsword at the same time. The tension was thick in the air as both warriors locked eyes with one another, waiting for the other to make the first move. Nathan's eyes stared into the face of the short youth clad in blue. Both of them were ready to draw their blades at the slightest hint of movement from the other. Before anything could happen, Sarah Hale stepped in between them. She pressed a calming hand on the short youth. "Boris, wait. I know this boy. Let me talk to him before things get out of hand. I'll persuade him on your behalf. Talk to him quickly, then. Boris's nostrils flared as he slowly let go of his grip on his sword hilt and backed away from Nathan. Despite the boy's words, his eyes pleaded with Nathan to make a move against him. Sarah quickly blocked Nathan's view of Boris as she smiled pleasantly at him. Hello, Nathan. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you since you left the academy. Yes, it's true. You watched me from the crowd as they almost had me arrested. I got there after it happened. I wasn't like Stuart. There was nothing I could do to stop them. Funny how everyone on that day recalls that they arrived too late to see anything. Listen, I'm sorry, all right? Even my father's high house is weaker than the Ravens. If I intervened, there would have been dire consequences. Besides, we barely knew each other in school. Just say what you must say and then move on. My sister and I have places to be. Sarah sighed. She motioned over to Boris and the taller boys in her group. Nathan, please, just give them the snow rose. It's just a flower after all. If it's just a flower, then they can buy a different one. Sarah leaned in closer to Nathan and whispered in his ear. See that boy over there you almost fought? That's Boris Olafsson, the eldest son from High House of Olafsson. They're the strongest noble family in the neighboring fiefdom of Haraldsland to the north. They're many times more influential than any of the high houses in Godricsland. You can't afford to offend someone like that. So what? I was here first, and if he wishes to make a fuss over it, then they can add their names to the list of powerful houses that wish me dead. It's all the same to me. Sarah shook her head, exacerbated with her former schoolmate. She whispered in Nathan's ear even quieter this time, while pointing out the tallest boy in the group. It's not the same at all. You don't get it, Nathan. See that tall boy next to Boris? That's Hager Haraldsson himself. He's the heir to the entire Haraldsland fiefdom. His father is the Duke over there. They're only here because they're looking to pick out a gift for young Donna Lightstone's birthday party. Nathan's brow furrowed. This new information changed things, but only slightly. The fiefdom of Haraldsland was to the north of Godricson, and was one of the stronger fiefdoms in the kingdom of Calandria. Duke Haraldsson was at least as powerful as Duke Godricson, if not more so. Each of them ran their lands largely autonomously, without much interference from the king himself. After all, there were only 4 fiefdoms in the entire kingdom, so each duke had a large say over how their parcel of land was governed. The fact that Hager Haraldsson was Duke Haraldsson's son meant that Nathan ought to be careful with how he handled the situation. Otherwise, it could lead to an inter-fiefdom incident that could cause conflict between the 2 lands. Even still, Nathan was in no mood to give up on the rare gift Amelia wished to present to Sir Ian's sister Donna. Nathan responded loud enough for all in the shop to hear. So what? I've never heard of House Olafsson. Why should they have the present my sister found? We'll not be bullied into giving it up, no matter how rich these fellows are. Sarah groaned. Heavens guide me. Since when were you so ungrateful? I'm trying to be your friend and save you from this trouble, but obviously you're looking for a fight. You're trying to be my friend? Oh, I thought you said we barely knew each other. Sarah simply shook her head as Boris returned to Sarah's side, his face bright red like an apple. Before Boris could retort, Amelia once again grabbed Nathan's shoulder and held him back. Nathan, just forget it. Let's just give it to them. We don't need it. We can just go someplace else. It's not worth offending all these sons of powerful lords. Boris scoffed and pointed his finger at Nathan. It's too late now. You've insulted our honor, and you've insulted me personally. Lady Hale, please step aside and watch as I teach your former classmate a lesson his foolish parents never gave him. This is one he'll never forget." Nathan gently moved Amelia to the side as he stepped towards Boris once more. All of the pain and heartbreak surrounding his mother's death swirled around in his head. He may not have the killer right in front of him, but he certainly had someone he could punish. "Oh, now you've done it, friend. You may insult me all you like, but bring my parents into this, and you'll not leave this store in one piece."
Oh, is that a threat now?
"I do not threaten, sir. I merely speak the truth." The moment Nathan said this, Sarah Hale knew her diplomacy had failed. Suddenly, she stepped back toward Hagar, who was about to step into the fray himself and intervene to try to cool everyone down. Now, after such tense words, he simply watched and waited.
"This Hayfield boy sure has a tongue on him. I'd better not get in the way of two hotheads boiling over. Well, no matter. Boris will make him think twice before flying off the handle like this again. After all, we can't let these people of Godric's land think that they can bully us folk from Harold's land."
Boris took another step closer to Nathan until they were right in each other's faces. Finally, Boris chuckled and flashed a toothy grin at his opponent.
Not backing down. I like it. Very well, then. Let's see your bite. I, Boris Olafsson, hereby challenge you to a duel. I do hope you're worth my time, pipsqueak. Perhaps, if it's a worthy fight, I'll write a poem to memorialize you."
Sarah Hale bit her lip. She knew that one way or another, this was going to end badly.
"Nathan, please, apologize while you still can. Boris is a 4th-level apprentice. He's only a few levels below Sir Ian. If you're not careful, he'll take your life."
Even after everything, Sarah couldn't help try one last time to push Nathan to consider common sense. They were both young spiritual warriors of Godric's land, after all. Nathan merely shrugged, not even a bit concerned by her words. Sarah raced to the door, furious with all of them.
"Fine. Have it your way, you fools. This fight is pointless. The Lightstones won't at all be pleased with this."
Sarah slammed the door shut behind her as she left the shop.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.